changes. Jacko Trains is in the building. Thank y'all so much for coming back to the channel. Now listen, as y'all already saw in the description, there are just some things, man, mid-season. I'm already creating this wish list in my head. There are a few things that needs to happen when it concerns the Philadelphia Eagles. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to just create this wish list. Honestly, if you are real, if Santa Claus is real, he would grant me this. Honestly, I would sit on his lap, even at this age right now, just to ask him, hold on, pause. I would really just ask Santa, or maybe please pray to God that these things happen during the off season, because honestly, I'm already ready for the off season. I've been going back and forth on whether or not I really want to see us win out this horrible division, or maybe I just want to honestly not necessarily tank, but I really would like a high draft pick. And this is what needs to happen. So let's start. Number one, the first thing that needs to happen, and I think that the entire Eagle Nation would agree with me, is Howie Roseman. Now listen, Howie Roseman is the number one problem. Let me tell you something about leadership. Leadership always flows from the top down. There's a way to lead from the top down, but there's also a way to lead from the bottom up. You don't know nothing about that? You ain't been doing your job trying to figure out what leadership is. All I know is Howie Roseman, I think he is a great GM when it concerns contracts or trades or big free agent signings. But the first thing that Jeffrey Lurie, if you are watching somehow, some way, I know you're a billionaire and you might not be watching this, but please hear it from the fans. The fans have an outside view. We are looking from the outside in. Now, I'm not just coming from a fan's perspective. I'm coming from a person who's actually coached football before. I'm coming from a person who's played football at a pretty high level before as well too. Howie Roseman is not a great evaluator of scouting talent. And the reason why is because you look at the history of Howie Roseman's draft picks. Now here's the problem with Howie Roseman. There's a such thing called ego. And ego is the seeds that sprout the plants of chaos. What's going on with Zach Ertz? As you can see, what's going on with him talking about who should be in the games and who should not be in the games. The thing is, ego is the big defining common denominator of everything that's going wrong with the Philadelphia Eagles, or everything that went wrong this past couple of weeks, or this entire season. Something about Howie Roseman, I think, is because he won that Super Bowl, and that probably could be the best thing and the worst thing for us, because not only do we get our first Super Bowl, at least the people that are alive today remember this Super Bowl now, but it's making Howie Roseman, he's too big now. You know the saying, you're too big for your britches. The man has knitted a humongous bridges for himself that he can't fit into. And why? It's because of ego. It's because of pride. There needs to be something that happens when it concerns the word humility. The man needs humility to honestly say, you know what? I need to step down from actual play evaluation. Let the scouts do what they need to do, because I'm pretty sure we would have probably had Chase Claypool. We may have had DK Metcalf. We may have traded up to get CeeDee Lamb. I mean, those are just a few little bitty things. Nathan Gary would have never been on this football team if Howie Roseman wasn't the evaluator of talent. Second thing that needs to happen, same. Humility needs to be brought back to the Philadelphia Eagles. You know, Orlando Scandrick says something. And I don't care about what Orlando Scandrick says, number one, because he's a double agent. The only reason why he was with the Philadelphia Eagles, in my heart and in my mind, call me a conspiracy theorist, I don't care. But Orlando Scandrick was completely there in the locker room to be a double agent. In fact, I think Nathan Gary's a double agent. You know, it just blows my mind. It blows my mind. There's no way you can be this bad and still stay on the team. There's double agents probably everywhere in this team. team. There's probably double agents starting from the front office all the way down to the players. And sometimes Howie Roseman can look like a freaking double agent with the draft picks. It's like, I only want sorry picks. That's the only thing I want. I want a quarterback so that I can create a quarterback controversy, not to be some stupid quarterback factory. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. And no one wants to be a QB factory because everybody knows history repeats itself. If you have multiple quarterbacks, 3 is a crowd, 2 is a crowd. You need a significant backup who knows their role. Jalen Hurts could probably start somewhere else in the NFL right now. And so I think you have to be a double agent to think, well, I'm going to draft a quarterback behind Carson Wentz. That's a double agent. It's just as simple. Humility needs to reign in Doug Peterson, who is my number 2. That man needs an offensive coordinator. It's just that simple. There's nothing wrong with being the head coach. Honestly, one of the biggest things is focus. See, when you have too many focuses, because as a coach, as a former coach, I know that if I was a defensive coordinator, I couldn't function as a head coach. If I was a head coach, I couldn't function as an offensive coordinator. Now, there are some people who are just gifted and talented for that type of thing. But that's not everybody. That's not all people. You look at Bill Belichick. The man has a defensive and offensive coordinator, and the man got a lot of Super Bowls. And so I think ego is one of the biggest reasons why Doug Peterson is just not giving up or understanding the fact that maybe I do need. No, instead, what does he do? I need a cohort of a bunch of people because he knows one thing. Too many voices equals no voices at all. So it's going to boil down to what he wants and what he says in the first place. I miss Frank Wright. I miss him so bad. But listen, after this season, there's going to be a lot of people that are out there. Even people are calling for Kellen Moore. And the Cowboy Nation is calling for Kellen Moore job, which is what I heard. I remember I actually tuned in on Foch's live stream one time and called in, and I'm confused because I'm like, Kellen Moore is the whole reason why y'all's offense was like that in the first place. I think Mike McCarthy gets fired after this year. I don't know. Let Dougie P be the head coach. This is what y'all gotta understand, Philly fan. Dougie P is a great head coach. He's not a great play caller. Those are two totally different things. Stop calling for the man's head coaching job and let's focus our attentions on him getting an offensive coordinator. Number 3 thing that needs to happen. Once those things are done, fire Jim Schwartz. I'm sorry. If Jimmy Schwartz does not want to change up some of the things, in fact, let me take some of this stuff back. I like when he blitzes because he has come up with ways to get to the quarterback through our linebackers. And I think if you really played football and you were actually good at breaking down tape and film, you would see that Jim Schwartz has been calling some of these blitzes at the perfect time. And some of the blitzes, they don't get there fast enough, but it's because this team is not used to blitzing. And so once we get used to blitzing, he just needs to add more tools in his toolbox because he's so one-dimensional. The stupid sticks defense, the stupid things, he needs more tools. I'm either or with Jim Schwartz. Fire him, we'll be cool. You don't fire him, get him more tools. That should be the same. Fire Jimmy Schwartz, we're cool. Don't fire Jimmy Schwartz, get him more tools. Either we're cool or get him more tools. My 4th thing. Honestly, this is who I want in the NFL draft. I think we go get Jamar Chase. Now, hear me out. A lot of people are like, we need linebacker. A lot of people are like, we need this. I think some of the issues that has been happening throughout the entire 2020 season with these players opting out and things like that, I think it's not going to have the greatest effect on them like they think they would. I know some players have been trying to keep themselves or reserve themselves and things like that, but there is one player who was the best receiver, not just this year, coming into this year, but even last year, and that man's name is Jamar Chase. If the Eagles get Jamar Chase, we'll have Jamar Chase, Jalen Reagor, Travis Fulgham, Greg Ward Jr., John Hightower, and we'll have Quez Watkins. That's it. That's all you need. Get rid of Alshon. Get rid of, I love DeSean Jackson. Even if you want to keep DeSean Jackson on the field, make him be like a player coach kind of deal. Coaching up and maturity and things like that, even though sometimes he still needs help in his decision making and maturity. Who knows? But if we get Jamar Chase in the first round, I think we finally get Carson Wentz, a number 1 draft pick, a high number 1 draft pick, because let's face it, Jalen Reagor, we don't know where he's going to be. He needs time. He needs time to think. He needs time to get acclimated. Jamar Chase is someone that I feel like can come immediately in, make one of the biggest impact, and I think that dude is going to win the offensive player of the year. That's just mine. I think people like Dylan Moses, I think people like Persons, I think people like that are going to end up falling. Some of these big time linebackers that are coming out, I know that I've seen some linebackers from LSU. I mean, you got Cox from LSU. You got all these different players, but don't forget, Howie Roseman is really good when it comes to free agent signings. Now, I understand that the cap and stuff like that is going to be a little bit of an issue, but you got Taylor, you got Bradley, you got TJ Edwards. Those should be the starting 3 linebackers, hands down. Go ahead, plug it in, go get Jamar Chase, work on the D-line or work on offensive depth. Go get linebackers and go get some dang safeties, man. Now, let me ask y'all this: how many people are sick of this? How many times does freaking Jalen Mills gotta get burned and then come back like this, like he did something? How many times does a receiver have to drop the ball and he come back like this? You did nothing. Now, I know as a former DB, we love doing this. You know, incomplete, whatever, we get so hyped, even though we know deep down in our heart, we was in the wrong position at the very wrong time. This is my final and last one before we, go ahead on and leave. Number 5, in my opinion, and hear me out, I think we should look to start shipping Fletcher Cox. I think we should start to look to build more on the D-line. If we keep Jim Schwartz, just start to see what you can get for him. Just start to see what you possibly would like from this dude. And Carson Wentz, honestly, he's going to have to stay the size. I like Carson Wentz at the size that he's at. He's clearly, in my opinion, he's not more agile than he used to be, but I think he's been able to take more hits, and I think he should stay the size that he's at. But this team needs to build camaraderie. They need to build it, and he needs 2 number 1 picks. If we don't waste this time that we have Wentz now, then we will be in a great place. That's it for my top 5. Go ahead, like, share, and subscribe if you're new. Like, share, subscribe, please. And hopefully I'll get a chance to collab with some people very soon in the future, whatever that may look like. But that's my top 5. That's obviously mid-season, so we're not quite at the end of the season yet, but at least that's my wish list for right now. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Again, Jacko Trades signing out. Yeah.